Blarla. Hello Peeps and welcome back to MySims. This is Blarla and today is a very special day. It's the very last episode of MySims. After today we would have covered every single sim that's in the game. Can you believe it? I can't. Do you know, it has taken approximately 111 hours to bring you this series. That's where we are on the timestamp for this one. And this is quite a special sim. And I've decided to release this episode on Halloween. Because this particular sim is a hidden secret sim. And she is a ghost. Her name is Cassandra. And we are going to be best friending her today. But the first tricky part is actually trying to meet her. And that's going to happen outside in the beautiful town of Blarmania. So, you know, let's head outside. It's pretty noisy in here anyway. And here we are in the beautiful world outside. It's so pretty and beautiful and bright and everything is so lovely. So how on earth do we find Cassandra? Well, I actually did this a little while ago because the only way to find Cassandra is for your spooky sims to hold a seance. Indeed. And Violet, who always lives in your town unless you kick her out, enjoys a good seance. Now, the thing is that a seance is much more likely to be successful if you have up to 4 sims participating, but a seance will never take place in your town if you don't have at least one spooky sim. So I decided, because I wanted there to be a greater chance of seances to happen in the town, which do tend to happen at night, but not always, I decided to try to best friend Cassandra when we were back doing a whole bunch of spooky sims for the uber spooky sim. Do you remember when we got Mel the mummy? And that is the time when this town was filled with spooky sims. So seances were happening all the time. Indeed they were. So that's, you know, if you want a seance, you want a high chance of seances and you want a high chance of meeting Cassandra, then fill your town with spooky sims and you'll come across lots of them. So that's the first hurdle dealt with. Indeed it is. So armed with the knowledge that our town is best filled with spooky sims for a higher chance of seances, and that seances tend to take place at night, starts the tedious job of sleeping on benches throughout town, making sure that it is always night time. Very important, constantly keeping it at night. And once you've done that, it's time to start finding spooky sims walking around town and chasing them in hopes that they might throw down a seance rug at any moment, or meet other spooky sims. And you do tend to find yourself with a group of spooky sims and they're all just hanging out doing their MySims thing. You know, and you're like, hey guys, should we do like a little seance, you know? And they never do. And then occasionally though, someone might fake out and put a rug on the ground like they're going to do a seance, and you're like, oh, quick, join the seance. And then they're like, and walk off, right? So that's a lot of your journey in trying to find Cassandra. It's an amazing moment when you get lucky, you see the rug on the ground, they're doing a seance, and you might even see Cassandra pop up, but then she just disappears again. And often because there's a sim standing in the middle of the rug, or it suddenly becomes day, or, you know, because it just it just hates you and fails over and over and over again. Doesn't matter if there's 2 Sims or 4 Sims. It could just fail. It's a very common thing with trying to summon Cassandra. You know, getting the seance going is one problem, but getting Cassandra to stick around afterwards is quite another. So you might see glimpses of her and you get really, really excited, and then poof, she's gone. And your heart breaks a little bit, and then you're back to running around and trying to find another seance. On those occasions where the seances are successful, it is amazing, and that's where you need to get to work. You need to constantly be nice to Cassandra for what seems like an eternity. And if you can keep the rhythm going, she will stick around as well, quite late into a day before she'll disappear again, and then you have to get back to night time and get her back from a seance. You know, you just want to keep going, keep being nice, and you'll notice that Cassandra, if you're nice to her, she isn't always nice back, and that can affect the friendship. So even if you continually are nice to Cassandra, your friendship with her will go up, go down, go up, up, down, go up, down, 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 up, down, up. It's it's an absolute nightmare. She is a level 0 sim, however, so that helps. You know, it's not like you're trying to best friend a star 5 or an uber sim, but because, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're mean or nice, but I think you do up the chances a little bit by being nice to Cassandra, that you stand a slightly better chance of best friending her sooner rather than later. And if you are really lucky at night time and trying to find Cassandra, it could be that a seance has already occurred somewhere and you just find Cassandra wandering around town. Never waste that opportunity, even if you're not trying to best friend Cassandra at that particular time. If you see her, start trying to best friend her, because I tell you, it takes an eternity, and I'm not exaggerating, it takes forever to best friend Cassandra. When the magical time does arrive and you finally best friend Cassandra, it's fairly anticlimactic. She just says boo, and that's it. There's no costume for Cassandra, unfortunately. It looks like she's wearing a pretty cool dress and sandals. We don't get those. And she isn't added to the relationships book either, which is a little sad, but she doesn't appear in your relationships book. However, there is some information regarding her that was supposed to be, or was going to be at one point in the relationships book, that was never put into the final game. However, in the back end of the game, this information still exists, and on the MySims wiki, it shows that her profile said "Ooh," and her interests, her loves, are spooky and geeky, and that she hates fun. I'm not sure if I believe that she hates fun, to be honest, because she does do a lot of pranks and has a lot of her own fun with you while you're trying to best friend her. But there we are. So that is her profile, even though you don't get to see it in game. What does she give you? She does give you very rare, difficult to get blueprints. You get 3 blueprints, in fact. So why don't we head home and check them out? Home sweet home. Here we are. So yes, Cassandra's blueprints then. Let's check them out. So yes, we get 3 blueprints in total, and they are 3 different types of chair. We get 2 that are very similar. In fact, we get chair monster paw, as you can see, and it does kind of look like a paw, a hand. But we also get the chair monster paw 2, which is exactly the same but on the opposite. And what's interesting about these 2 chairs is actually you don't sit on them the way that I was expecting. I put a couple in Violet's house, And you do sit on the opposite edge rather than on the curvy bit, which actually made me a little bit sad. I think I would have preferred if I had been able to sit on the curvy side. I don't know. There we are. That's just how I felt about it. And then a very cool chair, which was chair Monster Head. Very cool looking chair. I really do rather like that one, and can think of Sims that would definitely like to have that chair kicking around their home. So there it is. Not only is that all the blueprints in MySims now collected, but that is every single MySim best friended. Can you believe it? I can't. It is a slightly shorter episode because, of course, Cassandra doesn't have a house. She doesn't have a house. We can't build her furniture. We can't give her decoratives. Nope, none of that. None of that at all. Feed the fish. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. I love this thing. Oh, God. My house is so cool. I've got all the things in it I love. I have my Nintendo, a fish tank, my PC, very important piece of equipment, you know. It is indeed the colour red. I love the colour red. Yes, I do. I do indeed. And this actually looks a lot like my real life bathroom. I have like a green wall like this, and then everything's black and white and chrome to go with it. Yeah. Yep. It's very similar. It's very similar. Okay, anyway. And I've always wanted a sleigh bed. I don't have one in real life, but my goodness, I would love one. So I was really pleased when I built that. And does anyone remember, look, my vanity desk. These were all my nail varnishes. I do have a lot of nail varnish in real life. I do rather like my nail varnishes. Anyway, there we are. That's all the Sims. What can I say? We're done after all this time. Do you know this was the first series I ever launched on my channel? The first thing we ever started playing, along with a time management game called Ranch Rush. But MySims was the first episodes to go out. And after all this time, we have finally met every single one. I hope you've enjoyed this run through MySims. I have. It's been amazing revisiting the game, the PC version as well, so we had extra Sims and extra things to play with over the console version. When I played it back all the way back when I did play it originally, I did play it on the Wii, so this is actually my first time playing it on the PC with all the extra Sims, so that was really fun as well. Thank you so much everybody for joining. This has been a strangely successful series. Lots of people have really enjoyed this one. I didn't see that one coming, but it has made me incredibly happy that you've all enjoyed it as much as I have. Look, Blarla's bored. Okay, right, all right, B, we're done now. We're done now. Anyway, I'm sure I'll be back with more MySims. It's not the end of MySims, you know. I would very much like to play MySims Agents in the future. I would also very much like to play MySims Kingdom in the future. So at some point, when a space opens up and everything is primed for a MySims series, we will play some more. Until then, it's time for bed, isn't it, Blarla? Indeed it is. It's time for bed. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit that like button. As long as you are here, why not take your first step on the path to total coolness by supporting me via Patreon. The cooler you are, the harder I work, which means even more SHIZWAH.